Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Ranting with Mimik. This will be a weekly, monthly. I really haven't decided yet. I'm sorry, but yeah, basically these are video essays. Basically, just me ranting about stuff I like or want to talk about for that episode. These videos are not scripted. These are going off the top of my head, so these thoughts are directly of what I've been thinking about, and well, hopefully this won't ever go wrong, right, guys? Anyways, let us begin. Oh god, this is not for lunch. So, the first topic of today I want to discuss is, well, the first topic for this video at least, I want to discuss Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 is one of, if not my favorite game, is one of my favorite games. It is a very well-made and well-paced game. It's story-wise and storytelling. If you see right now, there should be some footage of. I'll have the credit of the creator down, like right next to it, right now. Future Mimic, if you when you're editing this, if you do not add this, you're cringe. But yeah, this entire we'll go over. I need to figure out how to do. Yeah, I think I'll go through like sections of the game and campaign of the main story. We will discuss. Basically, I'm going to give my own thoughts about the game and basically all my concluding. A lot of the videos I've seen at least and watched reviewing RE7 have mostly been about the development process behind it, leading into the story and discussing each character, characters and with. But I'll be discussing it how and if you wish to kind of take my sense, I guess we'll begin. I hope you enjoy. Let us move on to the rants. Alright. The first topic of discussion. Resident Evil 7 released 2017. What day? I don't really know. What month? I don't really know. I know I could just open the Steam page right now, which is what I'm actually doing. Ignore my frantic typing as I look it up. Oh god. This is also a goal of mine to make these actually kind of a bit unprofessional. If you think these are unprofessional, that's kind of the point. I don't want these to feel like, oh yeah, you're watching a 7-hour long big video that took years to develop. No, it's just a fun little thing I want to make and just talk about random things. But yeah, Resident Evil. Okay, why can't I? What? Huh? I can't find it. Okay, yeah, Resident Evil 7 released January 24th, 2017 here in America. But of course, it had a release date in Japan. Let's start with discussing the entire setting and what I think the themes of the games are. I may be wrong on this. Setting. The setting of the game is mostly within Louisiana. Or at least I believe a swampy segment of a more poorer area of Louisiana. Louisiana. What the fuck is up with my car? Anyways, yeah, well, yeah, a bit we can see, our main story takes place mostly in the Baker household, and we mostly play as the main character, Ethan Winters. We'll get more into him later. Or, well, yeah, later. But Ethan mostly follows right, need to talk about that later, sorry guys. Right, unscripted. Remember, unscripted. Yeah, so the first topic at hand is the setting. Like I said, yeah, so Louisiana, much poorer districts. We mostly take place in the Baker household. A 2-story mansion I think? Mansion? Estate? Yeah, it's the Baker estate. That's what they refer, that's what I've heard some people refer to it as. But no, that's what I'll refer to it as, the rest of the video. The Baker estate is where you mostly have the game take place, mainly within 3 core areas. The main house, the old house, or the greenhouse, depending on which one you choose. And then the, farm? I don't really know if that area had a name. Barn? If that area had a name, tell me in the comments. That would be very appropriate. But yes. Basically, Or, well, future Mimik can, like, put it up if I ever look it up. But yeah. That segment of the game. These segments, or I will divide them up into my conversation about what I think of them. Starting off with and also the guest house and boat, and the boat and salt mines. We will discuss those areas. We will discuss those areas soon, because we're quite literally moving on to the guest house. The guest house is where you begin the game. It is as it says, guest house for the bakers. Now we see it is one story from what I remember seeing from, well, at least what you can see, and it has an attic. Obviously, every house has need to have a good old attic, and well, yeah, that's kind of it. Like, there isn't much. It's like it has a bathroom. Obviously, it has all the requirements of a house. The house mostly has a more grimy and dark exterior, with the interior being very more like grotesque, I guess would be the word I would use. It has bugs, dirty, it's unclean. The place really hasn't been touched in what probably has been over decades of time. Decades, or at least a few years, if at least, since I believe the game it's said that Mia's been missing for 3 years, and so about 3 years worth of decay and kind of rotting has happened to these houses, having gone unclean, at least the guest house going uncleaned. Now, each room has its own, like, kind of unique stylization, in my own terms. It has something unique. Each room is at least special, and I like it. All the assets were 3D scanned in from the RE engine, which gives it a lot more of a kind of nicer feel. So, let's move on to the next part of So, after you beat the first, boss segment? Yeah, boss segment, let's call it that. You end up getting knocked out by the goat, Jack Baker. And you end up waking up in the main house. Thank you, Mimik, for that segue. There is one, I hope. But yeah, the guest house is a 2-story building that you start off within the kitchen. Jack Baker and the Baker family are obviously around you, and the house is a bit more cleaner than the guest house, seemingly because, well, the family lives there, but still showing decay and rot, which does add a lot more details and little nice things about it, and I actually like that. The design aspects of a lot of this, except for the monsters, we'll get to that, are very unique and very special. This game's clearly had there was a lot of love and care put into this game, except for certain segments. But yeah, so let's move on to you kind of explore a bit, and while being pursued by Jack Baker. So we see that the house has its kind of own design in certain segments, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. The house has a feel to it, and I really like that feel. It's like a grimy house that seemingly it has an abandoned feeling to me, but it's been repaired by by the Bakers, and it's clear they've been living here, evidently, but it doesn't feel like it to me. It feels like it's just decayed and rotten, and it is unique in its own regard. I love it because of that. And then just the entirety of how the regression of the game is you start off in this area. I believe it's summed up best by what Posture said in a random video I remember watching from him. I don't remember which one. Resident Evil 7 has a bit of a Metroidvania style game loop. You basically gain keys throughout the game, and through those keys you're able to unlock areas in previous segments, mostly the main house, which gives you more ability to explore and walk around, which is actually very unique. And hell, the areas even update similar to another game I love, Hollow Knight. I'll get into that into another ranting video later, which will probably be I don't know, 2026, who knows. But yeah, so back to development and talks about all this entire stuff. So so now we move out of after you get away from Jack and you were able to escape, you enter into the main the main area. So you explore. So let's start with the main area. You have kind of like the living room. I believe that's what. No, it's not the living room. It's a central area. I don't know what to call it. Okay, but yeah, it's where the there's a table in the middle and kind of just some scattered props and just things around it that like showed that at least like there's still people. Again, like Jack has been there several times at most. Randomly, maybe just sitting down, just enjoying a nice cold beer. Cheers. But, like, it's fascinating to see. So, when you kind of explore around, you are able to, again, find at least these bobbleheads. These bobbleheads are very unique. The fact that once you get them all, you unlock some stuff, which is the thing this game does really nicely, and I love. And then something I don't know if all the Resident Evil games do this, but at least this game and the next one after it does really well. And it's like, this game does one thing really well, and that's survival horror. The survival horror and resource management are beautifully made in this game. I've barely experienced it, and hell, I felt terrified while playing a large chunk of the game. Hell, I still feel paranoid throughout the entire segment. Which I don't, yeah, even with it, oh dear god. So, moving into at least the second floor of the house, you see again, like, the house has this, at least, like, it's in a state of repair, I guess. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It's, like, in a state of repair for me. And as you explore it and walk around in it, you just slowly encapsulate, at least, you learn the layout, like, hell, like, I don't even use the map half of the time. I've been able to memorize the layout of the house. And that's really cool. The development of each, at least, area seemed to have its own unique aspects to it. Every time I'm in the hallway, I may get a bit turned around, but at least I'm able to recognize certain things by key markers within the household. And that does give a bit of a life of my own. And I really just enjoy it because it expands kind of what I love about this game. It's it's very detailed in its atmosphere and detailed in designs, at least for this entire part of the game. So as we explore, we find little trinkets, and then we discover the puzzles and also that Jack. We'll get into Jack later. He is a man. But yeah, you discover contraptions scattered throughout the house, made by Lucas, the son of the bakers, and he built these contraptions scattered throughout the house for his own little entertainment, I believe, and his own testing, trying to see what he can and can't create, and it's interesting to see. It's like Jigsaw, except Jigsaw actually doesn't have any morals, and just is doing it for the heck of it. Okay. So yeah, we open up with we see. So yeah, as you walk around and explore the house, you kind of it's nice to see because you explore the house and you slowly learn the story of some of the victims that were found and captured by the bakers, as they try to find their ways out, being graced. And we'll discuss one of these victim stories later. Clancy. Or Clancy. What the hell did they get Lancy from? Anyways, we move on into the basement. The basement is the third area of the old house or the new house, or the main house? I still don't know what these areas are called. Goddamn. But yeah, it's the main house, which is the basement is the second. So yeah, the basement has kind of a few areas that you get to explore. I don't think you get to. Yeah, you explore the entirety of the basement in the baker's state as a whole, I'm pretty sure. But yes, within the basement, you have furnace room, kind of cremation, which what? Why do you have a cremation thing downstairs? I know this is a random thing, but I want to talk about why do they just have a cremation unit down there? It's very random for me, and I love it. It's just funny to think about. What did they use that for? Did they cremate fucking pigs or something? I don't get it, but it's funny to think about. I also love to think they were just told to build it. They were just okay, we're gonna build this now because why not? But it's just the basement has a lot of interesting details that I love to think about because I think they just did that because of the mold and how it was functioning in them, or just certain things. We'll get to the mold later. God damn it, I love this. So yeah, moving into the next segment, which is the Jack Baker boss fights. or the Jack Baker boss fight. We will talk about that in the character section of this rant. We begin seeing so as we explore again, we see the more unique atmosphere of this game, as it kind of just continues to perpetuate this very fun effect it has. Again, it has a very scary element, but it's able to balance it out neatly with comedy in certain regards, mostly with Jack Baker. Again, we will get to him. I want to have some order in this video, Mimik. Sorry for background noise if you can hear that. But, yes. So, yeah, you explore... Yeah, so throughout the segment, there are 3 boarheads you can find. These 3 boarheads help you unlock the main door, and when you find all 3 of them, you're able to unlock it, ending up in the... You can find a tape, which I will discuss this tape now, for at least, you know, consistency purposes. I was planning to discuss them at least at the end of this segment, or in another segment, but I will discuss them now. The tapes are something you can collect throughout the game, and they give clues and hints of what to do in future segments, from what I've been able to remember, and at least learn from them. We will talk about them as they come along. The first one we will talk about is Mia. Mia is Ethan Winter's wife, which we will again discuss about. We play as her as she tries to escape Marguerite Baker in the greenhouse, where she kind of maneuvers through the entire section, as we kind of get a feel of the layout as you have to hide from Marguerite. The level slowly builds this kind of tension-ish of as you hide from her, you get it. For me, at least, I got more paranoid throughout the segment, as it's like, if I lose, I'm gonna have to do this all again. It's like, it's kind of a nerve-wracking thing for me, and it got me through. And when I got through that section, I'm like, wow, that was very neat and like very cool in like regards, because like it gave a lot of life to it, in my opinion, and I loved it. At least in that regard. Again, I will use that word a lot, probably. I don't really know, man. Someone don't play a drink. Please don't play a drink game. But yes, after you get out of the main house, you enter into the garden area, or whatever you want to call it, the main hub. Let's call it that. I don't know if that, again, has a name. If it does, editor Mimik, please put it up. Thank you. Yeah, so let's talk about the trailer. The trailer is your kind of safe room for the game. Resident Evil mostly has safe rooms scattered throughout the levels, but unlike most, Resident Evil 7 unlike most, Resident Evil 7 has a main hub area, has like a main area where what is considered a safe zone. This is, like, this house, and like basically enemies I don't think enemies can chase you out here. There's at least 2 spawns, enemies that will spawn out here every now, at least once throughout the campaign. Maybe more, I don't really know. So, this trailer was home to Zoe, and I believe Mia at one point, according to the daughter's DLC. Again, we will discuss this. So, sorry. We see, so the trailer has 4 bird cages in it, each bird cage holding a little item that using a collectible in the game, the antique coins, you can unlock. These collectibles are able to boost Ethan's attack, health, reload speed, and health. But also you can collect a magnum, which, dear God, this weapon is broken as fuck. Anyways, sorry about that. And the last one I'm pretty sure is another antique coin. We'll get to this one. We will get back to these bird cages whenever we reach the madhouse segment of this game, because holy shit, I just realized we're almost 20 minutes into this video. God damn it. Oh god, this is gonna be a good video. So yeah, after we get through that segment, we enter into the greenhouse. Oh no, you're actually going back. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're going back, boy. So, yeah, we go back to the you go to the greenhouse, and you kind of explore a bit as you encounter Marguerite, and also you find Mia. Before taking a kind of statue that I'll explain in a moment, the statue, which I forgot to explain this, but there are shadow puzzles scattered through the game, sorry about that. I think it just happened. Yeah, but there's basically the shadow puzzles that are scattered throughout the game. There's the spider puzzle there's the... Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out, I think there's... think 4 or 3. Correct me again if I'm wrong. I know I probably should replay the game for this, dear God. But yeah, but yes. From what at least I can recount, I know this is dumb, I'm doing a video essay based off a game I haven't played in a moment. Sue me. Yeah, so after exploring the entirety, so you enter into the greenhouse as you begin to explore it, having to face certain challenges with Marguerite Baker, having to avoid her and her annoying flies. Oh my God, they are annoying. Like, oh my God, we'll get to that whenever we get to characters. Oh my God. I hate those things. Okay, anyways, back to the game. So yeah, the old house has a more swampy design surrounding it. According to the lore, at least when I was able to read, the old house began to sink into the earth and started to be kind of submerged and taken by nature, if I'm correct. If I'm wrong, again, you can correct me in the comments. So, the old house was given this more murky, ocean, like kind of aquatic feel near the end of it. Like, the entire side of it has a more aquatic aesthetic, meaning mostly being above a water area, body of water. Requiring a crank to even get across a certain segment, which you can probably see again here, which probably will have RE7 footage. So, after you complete this entire segment and you move out into the next area, so you're able to find where the crank is, having to complete, and you are able to find the crow key. Now, and once going up to, you end up facing Marguerite Baker in a mini boss fight, which, well, it's very quick if you know how to kill her. If you have, like, infinite ammo, the magnum, or just, like, it's a very, like, the boss fight is easy if you know what you're doing. Better way to put it. It's very easy if you know what you're doing. But yeah, anyways, after you kill her, you go in through the door and you kind of discover, oh wait, I need that lantern. But yeah, like, again, I'm getting off topic, goddammit. But yeah, these areas have a more, again, grimier feel. This house mostly has a more, like I said, grimier and more buggish feel with, like, if you're afraid of bugs, don't play this game. Like, holy shit, there are so many bugs. But yeah, but this area has a bit more of a life to it in my eye, in my way I say it. There's just life in certain ways, like, every time you face something, like, there are bugs scattered throughout the house at least several points, and you have to face several different creatures before killing Marguerite. And of course, and then you end up entering into the greenhouse, which is, well, self-explanatory. It's a greenhouse. What do you expect? But yeah, you end up fighting Marguerite. The greenhouse overall has a more, again, as a mossy kind of, again, life aesthetic, which I love about this. Or bug theme throughout it, which is, I believe, which is the entire theme of Marguerite, bugs, and just, it's really nice seeing, and I love it. I just, yeah. So after you complete that segment, and you enter in. Now, after you do that, you have a choice. You're actually able to go back to the old house, and using the crow key, you're able to get the rocket launcher in a new area, and find a new area. We will not talk about these new areas for a moment. So yeah, after you complete the greenhouse, you're challenged by loot. After you enter into the next segment of the old house. You return back to the old house, opening the door, and you enter into what I describe as a child's segment of that area. It is so unique with how it's designed. It has, like, it's like this was an entire segment of the house dedicated to Evelyn, and it gives a very interesting style to what I saw in the game. It also shows that Evelyn was here before the old, like, I can't tell if that's, like, if this was for Zoe, or, like, because, like, why would they move, like, did they move, I think, no, they moved before, but why was this area, like, it's just another question I have, like, I mean, I think it may be explained in notes that I didn't read, but if it is explained, please, again, answer in the comments. Basically, if you have any problems with this entire rant and you want to ask me questions in the comments, or just correct me on something, you can. Again, this video, I know I keep re-saying this over and over, and it's probably getting irritating at this point. This video is not scripted. Please, remember that. Or even, like, in any way, it's just me ranting about this project that I love. This game I love. And just, okay, moving into the next segment, which is but yeah, you kind of navigate through this child's playpen, which is very unique. It's just dark. And then, like, there's no enemies, but there's always this sense of looming, am I gonna fight something? Because it's always, like, the room's very dark, it's, like, mold everywhere, and then, just, like, the game does random little things that, like, go, oh crap, is that an enemy? Or is that, what is that? And it's like, what am I gonna fight something? Who knows? It's like, it's a fun little thing the game does to you throughout its run. It all culminates into collecting the D-Series arm, and then by seeing Evelyn for a moment as she runs away. You continue to explore this old, and, like, the area, and in total, the, like, what I would playpen part of the old house is very unique with its aesthetic. Again, but, well, in certain regards, like, god damn it. It's very unique. Let's say that. It's like, it's not unique, but like, it has special regards on its own. Being the fact that the old house is a connected what? All these areas have a similar theme. The grimy old feeling that these houses have. Like, they haven't been, like, they're just all grimy, run down, and kind of disgusting. And it's like, it's a twisted take on certain areas and horror themes, and I love it. And we move into Lucas's segment next. Lucas has probably one of the most unique, has a very fun, what I dub the Lucas's character I will discuss again later. But mostly it is a jigsaw maze. As you scurry through the area, you face so many Lucas keeps throwing things at you, trying to slow you down. And this is oh my god, I forgot to mention an entire segment of the thought. One moment. So yeah, before you enter into the entire new house, you have to collect 2 key cards. And during this entire thing, you find another tape, which is called Happy Birthday. This is another fun tape. So, you play as the hit indie character, Clancy. Please, take a laugh. But yeah, Clancy is a fun character who is a reoccurring side protagonist with Ethan, who isn't like a center focus, but he's just someone who keeps appearing, and it's in this game at least. Clancy, this tape shows us Clancy partaking in a little clown game. It has, the entire area has a more rundown and decayed segment. The area looks like kind of a twisted, like, happy birthday party. Like, Lucas took what the concept of, like, took a birthday party that he probably threw for Evelyn, and burned it to the ground, remolded it back to a party, made it into his own personal funhouse of torture, and then left. That is the best way I would describe it for me. It is just Lucas's personal fun home area thing. I don't know how to describe it. So yeah. But yeah, basically Lucas gives you this area, and you kind of have to explore and navigate. And when you return to this area later in the campaign, which I hopefully am showing you here, since Lucas does end up tricking you into this area. But before that, you have to go through the barn. The barn. But yeah, in the barn, the barn again, it feels like a grimy, rundown bar. I think I'm going to speed through some of these segments, since they're kind of the same at this point. Most of these areas have a more grimy, rundown bar. It's a barn. What do you expect? It's a barn! But yeah, but also you do face some new trials and tribulations that kind of stumble you through your path if you're not paying attention. Landmines. We're going back to Vietnam, boy! Yeah, so, yeah, there's landmines scattered throughout the entire area as a whole. So these landmines are kind of placed as a trick and kind of just problems that you have to face Because, like, no, throughout the early campaign, before you entered in the segment, you always were, like, usually safe, would walk around, except for Marguerite's area, and you usually could break any box you wanted. But now, you have to be careful with it. You have a choice to either strike it with your knife and lose health, or shoot it and break the box. And when you do this, it kind of gives it a bit more danger to everything. It's like, it's a gamble. You either have a choice to lose ammo or lose your life. Very close analogy, I know. But yes, the entire segment is, again, very unique in its approach. In the entire adventure as a whole, you have to, it's just another game. It's a fun little thing that changes in Lucas's segment. It adds to just a bit more trial and tribulation, at least to this entire segment. And it kind of throws the player off their balance if they're not expecting it. I don't believe anyone really is expecting a landmine to now exist. The landmines are, are very complicated to find. Since not complicated, but they're hard to see at points. Like, if you don't know they're there, and you're just, like, not paying attention, you just run right into it and lose health. And that's something I like. It's like, the landmines throw you off your game. You're not expecting them to be there, but they are. And it's like, it kind of just goes, it makes you go, what the hell, man? How did I die? It's like, oh, wait. There's landmines now? And it's fun. It's like, it adds a bit more terror and kind of nerve-wracking. It makes you pay attention a lot more, which is intense. It's not, and I like that. But yeah, once you complete that segment, you're able to enter into the clown area, which I've already talked about. And unlike Clancy, he's... Ethan. Why are you looking at the cake? Okay, Ethan, there's a taking. Ethan, no! Bad Ethan, what the fuck? Ethan, just go walk back! Why are you just standing there? Ethan Winters, folks. He isn't the brightest tool in the shed. Anyways, yeah, so throughout the entire, so after that, disappointing show, because Ethan has, now his psychic, now that Ethan has his tape-watching powers, or if you're me and not knowing, but deciding not to watch any of the tapes until the very end, you would be unlucky and you would just straight up die in the segment. And then you go, oh, well, I have to figure that out now. In that case, Ethan has psychic powers. Let's not worry about Ethan Wizards, folks. Yeah, so, anyways, but after this entire segment, you enter into the docks, which... Do I really have to keep reverberating this, guys? I mean, yeah, it's grime, you know, ruined down. Yeah, you end up fighting Jack in, like, this little boathouse thing. I don't know what this is. Seriously. Is this how much what does Jack do for a living? Is it ever said? What does Jack do? How much money does he get paid? Like, these are genuine questions I'm asking you now. How much does Jack get paid? How much? How much is the house property? Like, how much tax? How much tax does he need to pay on it? Holy shit. Anyways, but yeah, after this you escape the Baker estate. Alright, we move on. Alright guys, we're now entering into the boat. So, let's get this straight. The boat's is not the best segment in the game. At least, from what I've heard. And in my opinion, it's a moderate section. It's like, I like the fact you have to keep going up and down. It's like, you have to continue using, it's like elevation. And I like that. And that's kind of it. Like, it's a rundown boat. It's repeated. And it isn't too fun when you explore it all this time. Like, once you get to, like, a certain point in the campaign, like, or at least, at the end, you're like, wow, that was a section. It's underdeveloped. You end up returning to the old house, and then you face Evelyn, blah, 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 blah. Chris Redfield descends down from the heavens like a god. He doesn't look like Chris Redfield. The end. Alright, now on to characters. Alright, now we're talking about characters. Thank you again, Mimik, for that hopeful, very nice intro. So, characters. How do I describe these characters? Okay, so how do I mean? Let's go in order of how I see them. Okay, let's go introduction order. You first meet Mia Winters, Ethan Winters' wife. She is something. I will talk about you if I ever review it. I will talk about you, Mia, if I ever rant about Eight. Because holy shit, I have some words to say. Mia's not my favorite character. Let's get that across. So yes, Mia Winters is a woman in her 30s? Adult Winters? I don't know. But yeah, Mia is a researcher on Evelyn, who works for The Connection. But yeah, Mia mostly helped out with developing Evelyn and moving forward with that project, ending up kind of never telling Ethan, leading to, and also Evelyn ended up imprinting on Mia, leading to her having to go, crap. I guess I have to stay here until the child arrives and that it doesn't go rogue. Again, we'll talk about Evelyn later. But yes, after these events, the child goes rogue, as expected, kills literally everyone except Mia, and then they die, and then Mia escapes. Ish. Evelyn follows. Because she's her mommy. This is gonna be taken so out of context, god damn it. Anyways, so yeah, after this, Mia ends up being controlled by Evelyn to send a message to Ethan. And this leads Ethan to coming down to Louisiana from Texas. After arriving in Louisiana, and yeah, Mia mostly plays a side character role throughout most of the game, as she's mostly a character you don't see much scattered throughout as appearances. Mostly being a character that tries to shows as a beacon to try to, encourage Ethan, because Ethan wants to find his wife. Let's go over what she does in the beginning of the game, because that's quite literally one of her longest appearances besides the middle point, the end of the game. Yeah, you kill Mia. I don't know how to spell this in, a way that makes sense. Yeah, no, Mia's, controlled by the... Well, I can, but... Yeah, Mia's controlled by the mold and ends up attacking Ethan. Ethan fucking murders her. Ethan also loses his hand and has no absent reaction, which... Ethan, your hand... Well, he has a reaction, but, a reaction that, you would expect a man of his caliber to be, screaming in human agony. Because his hand just got cut off. With a bone, even. That's pain. That's painful, man. Oh, no. I lost a hand. And a leg. And, 5,000 other body parts. Anyways, but yeah, so, besides that point. So, yeah, after that, Ethan kinda... Yeah, Mia kinda starts fading out after she gets controlled by Evelyn again, which we will discuss Evelyn in a... later tidbit? I guess, I mean, technically we could talk about... Yeah, I think we'll just talk all about the Baker family as a whole, when we get to their segment. So, yeah, we find Mia, we kill her, and, yeah, that's the end of Mia. She keeps reappearing until the middle end of the game, where we players are in the boat. We mostly learn about her story as the motherly figure of Emily. Why the fuck did I... Who the fuck is Emily? I know an Emily, but who the fuck's Emily? Anyways, okay. I digress. Sorry, guys, for that random moment. But yeah, Mia meets. Yeah, so yeah, we learn about that in Evelyn, and yeah, Ethan. Yeah, so Mia's like, "Hey, can you give Ethan back?" Evelyn's like, "Sorry about that." Yeah, no. Yeah, then she gets kidnapped, killed, and I'm pretty sure brought back. I'd rather not discuss this. Anyways, now on to the homie himself. Random person that called Ethan at the beginning of the game. Yeah, you thought I was going to talk about Ethan. No, this character appeared before him. By dialogue. And well, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, so, this character is mostly unknown, I think, and we do not know who the hell he is or what the hell he is. He's just a man who existed and talked to Ethan once in this game, And Ethan never brings him up or brings up whatever the hell his life was in Texas up again. And yeah, that's the end of that character segment. Really quick. Hopefully the next one will be, oh my god. Ethan motherfucking Winters. This man is not a god. He is not a man. He is the Chad. I'm sorry for these jokes. Yeah, but anyways, Ethan Winters is the main protagonist of Resident Evil 7. Mostly portrayed as a faceless protag. And he's a very fun and likable character for me. He's kind of like that, he tries to be funny. He fails at it, like me. Yeah, so, yeah, you've kind of seen throughout the game as Ethan continues to portray himself. Yeah, so Ethan's mostly a shallow character who goes through the events of RE7, having to face Jack, Marguerite, and all that. We don't really know much about his life until RE8. He doesn't really take on much of a character. He doesn't really gain too many character traits until RE8. And by that point, well, we know what happens if you played RE8. Again, we'll discuss that once we get into here. But yes, moving into RE, yeah, so Ethan's mostly a shallow. Ethan mostly is a character that mostly functions as a character that is used for the player to put themselves in. He doesn't function as like a big protagonist that's like, oh yeah, I have all these motives and all this. No, it's like Frisk Undertale. They're basically what you envision them to be, and that's what Ethan was meant to be in RE7. Of course, they got changed in RE8, but we'll discuss that when we get to that point. Now we move on. We move on to Jack Baker. Jack Baker. He's the man and a father of the Baker estate. I don't know why I said estate, not family. Yeah. Jack is the father figure of the group. He is the father of almost everyone except a certain little girl. But yeah, he's a cool guy, actually. Jack's a cool guy, and he wields he wields like several weapons. He's mostly based off, I believe, Leatherface. I almost called him Chainsaw Massacre. Oh my god, I'm not in. Oh, disgrace the horror as a whole. Anyways, but yeah, Ethan. Yeah, Jack's very durable. I want to comment on that. Yeah, Jack, like, he gets shot. He gets, like, I'm 90% sure this man could be, like, grounded into bits and he would still come back. Because he's, like, there's a joke I've seen, at least a certain YouTuber I watched that I've mentioned earlier in this video do a lot. And he just, Umbrella works so hard for the perfect life form. Then meanwhile in Louisiana, Jack Baker just stood there in silence and defiance. But yeah, let's go over Jack's story throughout the game and also who he and his character. He is a neglectful father before the start of the main game. Mostly trying to keep his son in good light. After Lucas proceeds to do something that I will discuss in a bit. That and also, or he just doesn't even know about it due to a comment later in the game. But Jack is a very kind person. He cares a lot. I know I just said that and I kind of remembered certain scenes, but yeah. Jack is a very kind father. He cares for his family a lot. And it's shown in the game, like, he very much does care for them. Mostly in the segment near the end after after the boat segment and Ethan talks to them. We see the real Jack Baker. One that isn't molded by the mold. Which we'll just talk about next, actually. But yeah, we see that Jack really just believes the best in his family. He believes that none of his family would do this. Including Lucas Baker, who we'll discuss soon enough. But it's sad to see because Jack's such a good man. He really is the best father that anyone could ask for. But yet that ignorance he has, it blinds him to what his family can do, what's happened. And it is such a sad thing. Yeah, anyways, here's some footage of him doing donuts in his garage. Yeah, now we move on to the better parts. So yes, Jack Baker gets infected by the mold by Evelyn Baker? Yep, Evelyn Baker works. So yeah, Evelyn gets infected by the mold and ends up having to serve as a problematic figure of this environment. But yeah, Jack mostly, again, portrays the father figure, and he actually fits in this role a lot, having to kind of coincide with a lot of this. Now, as the events of the entire game takes place, Jack holds a very deep care for Evelyn, similar to... He genuinely treats her like his daughter, as that's expected because of what Evelyn has done to him. And it's shown that his devotion to her is extreme. Probably the most extreme out of the Baker family, in my opinion. And it's shown because no matter what, he's always going about how he... Because in the end, Mia's meant to be her mom. Meant to be Evelyn's mom. But Jack's too old for her. And so she goes to the second best option. Ethan. Which causes Jack to hate Ethan Winters a lot. And this leads to Ethan mostly being like a separate character that is constantly being attacked. Which leads to Jack not just like, casually attacking Ethan, but he's attacking him with anger. Because because Evelyn wants Ethan as her father. Because he's too young. Well, Mia's too old Mia's too young for Jack, and she'd rather. And she's already in love with Ethan. Why not? Perfect fit. And unironically, I'm gonna be honest real quick. If she just didn't have like the mold problem, she probably could have found a good family with Ethan. I actually think he would have just adopted her and said, hey there, buddy. I'm Ethan. Yeah, you're cool. Yeah, nice. You're my daughter now. Then we would have shot her in the face. Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, back to Jack. So, Jack continues to hold a resentment towards Ethan. Surviving, quite literally getting burned alive, crashing a car, getting shot through the skull, that's proceeding to survive getting his entire top half exploded, surviving, quite literally getting cured of the infection. His own body just continues to survive, turning him into a creature known as Swamp Thing. We'll discuss that when we get to end of Zoe DLC, by the way. The fun's just beginning, folks. We're only 40 minutes. We're almost 50 minutes into this video, and I still haven't gone through a lot of a lot of the stuff yet. Let's continue. So after this entire fun, Jack continues his adventure. We continue Jack. Yeah, so Jack, like I said, faced a lot of trials and tribulations, continuously getting nuked, exploded, killed, and publicly executed. And now we move on to Zoe Baker. Now, I only add her now because, I want to comment. The reason I don't include certain characters yet, if you have played the game, mostly the Ghost Hunters, is because I will introduce them as later characters because they are mostly side characters. But I only introduce Zoe here because she's a main member of the Baker family and she appears after Jack. Zoe plays a key role, mostly being the person that Evelyn wishes to replace. And Zoe survived most of the 3 years in torment and nightmares trying to survive her family, leading to her being desperate every time a new person comes by, leading to them ending up being killed and caught in this entire game of her entire, adventure to get freed and finally cure her and to save her family, leading to the events as we see a cutscene of her saving Ethan, of her reattaching Ethan's hand, and Sabler saying, no, you can't die yet. We see that she's desperate. I'm pretty sure about that as a fact. She wants her family back, and she's tired of the hell she's lived in for nearly 3 long years. And hell, maybe even 4, we really don't know. I don't think, at least. But now, we move, and she almost gets that opportunity, even. But sadly, Ethan chooses his wife because, well, it's his wife. Seriously, Capcom, why did you give us this choice? It's very obvious who we were going to choose. So yeah, after choosing Ethan's wife, Zoe's left alone. When the defeat of Evelyn happened, she's turned to this crystalline winter princess, I guess is the best way to describe it. Ending her story with Joe Baker finding her and getting her to safety, ending up being found by the Blue Umbrella Corporation, or whatever, the BCEM, whatever it's called. And then we end Zoe's story. Moving into Marguerite Baker. Marguerite Baker is the mother or grandmother? I don't know. If I'm being honest, I think it's meant to be the grandma of the family. I think she's meant to be the grandma. She again, like Jack, was a very kind and caring person before the events. She cared for her family a lot. All of these people cared for both Jack and she has a mother's love. And throughout hardships, I genuinely don't think she deserved what she ended up getting. But it's sad to see nonetheless, like, her family and everything she loved ended up getting turned into these mutilated monsters of themselves, turning into these creatures and it's just sad to see because Marguerite, Jack, all the Bakers, at least besides Lucas, were all very kind individuals in some ways, and it's just sad to see. And we just learned, and so yeah, let's go over Marguerite's role in the story. So Marguerite, we mostly see her in the old house. We see how she's reacting to Ethan as he's exploring, mostly wanting him to get out. As you can tell by his dialogue option, but it's dialogue. Yeah, she's out. She doesn't like Ethan that much. But yes, throughout the campaign, we see how she reacts. She has a deep hatred for Ethan as a whole. And this hatred for him continues to persist even through the main camp. Throughout everything. And it's a very interesting thing to witness. Because as a whole, I honestly don't really have much to say on Marguerite, if I'm being honest. So I'll move past her for now. We'll move into Lucas. Lucas is Jigsaw. Except, again, he has no morals and nothing. He just does this for the fun of it. He's a psychopath. When he was only I don't remember what age he was, but he killed he locked a child in the attic and heard as he died of starvation. His family did nothing to stop it or even try to talk to him about it. They just let it happen. Hell, I don't even know if they knew about it. I mean, I would expect it because the child was banging and begging to be let out. All that Lucas did was watch. Zoe knew. I'm pretty sure she knew, but Lucas threatened her. I don't really remember again. If you want to tell me about that, you can. But after this, we see more of how we learned that Lucas was never infected. Literally every member but Lucas was infected. Well, he was infected, but was given a cure, leading to him being the only non-infected member of the Bakers, besides Zoe, obviously. And this shows he's a cruel man, like really, really cruel. And it's just interesting to see. No matter what, it's like, again, this is just another thing to see. Like the entire Baker estate and the Baker family is always interesting to witness. As we see that, like, Jack really believes that his son's a good person, but in reality, he isn't. He never will be. Lucas is a psychopath who is killed and will continue to kill people, at least throughout his life. Well, however much of his life he had left. And that's the Baker family. Moving in, we're just going to discuss random side characters I can remember off the top of my head right now. Mostly being Clancy. Clancy! Fucking hell, Clancy, you're a trooper, man. You don't deserve half the shit you go through. You're just... Clancy's a survivor, mostly. Having to explore and survive most of, if not the entirety of what Ethan goes through in his own unique ways. We'll discuss this with his DLCs. Clancy has 3 DLCs that he goes throughout. Well, a DLC called The Lost Tape, or the banned footage. The banned footage is a series of tapes that were made with Clancy at the center stage. So let's start at the beginning. There's a tape you find at the beginning of the game that helps show you the furnace. Clancy was the cameraman who ended up being kidnapped by Jack Baker. Starting his journey off, he, I believe, gets caught by Jack first, having to survive almost the entire night trying to defend himself against creatures, even Jack Baker himself. Ending with his escape, he ends up getting caught by Marguerite, leading to him having to suffer under her, having to listen to his family bickering and trying to find a way out. soon being able to escape the horrible food, horrible discussions, and just horrible nature of her as a whole. Able to escape her, he ended up being captured by Lucas. He would play a twisted card game with him, continuously torturing him, as this ends with Clancy's life being claimed. We'll now take a moment of silence to commemorate Clancy. And that concludes the moment of silence for Clancy. So yeah, anyways, now we go back to guns and violence. So yeah, now we move into, now that we conclude kind of the story segment, since there's not really too many other side characters I can discuss besides victims of the Bakers, which you probably can find pretty easily, at least on YouTube. But, actually, I just realized, I haven't talked about the main villain of this. I almost ended this section without talking about the main villain. Yeah, no, Evelyn. Evelyn is a bioweapon that was developed by the Connections to function as a kind of unknown factor. She was built with a virus known as the mold. The mold fully strips you of your personality, grinding you down to your intrusive thoughts. You're still very much aware of what you're doing, but you're more than a pitted husk. You know what you're doing, and you're very aware of it. Meanwhile, you basically become the worst version of yourself, doing everything you wouldn't normally do in public and doing your basic intrusive thoughts. It's horrifying to see, but it's a very interesting topic the mold is able to do. Now this leads into my discussion of Evelyn as a whole. Evelyn, again, is the center antagonist of the game. Function as kind of like the main, driving a thing against Ethan. We see as she sends out the molded, different creatures, like, mainly the molded after him and doing things, like, she mostly, again, wants him as her father and dad. But Ethan doesn't want that. He wants to continue his family. He wants to save his wife. This is a key term, because I will discuss this in whenever I get to a certain segment. I'll discuss bigger spoilers for future games, actually. So yes, after this, yeah, so Evelyn just wanted a family, but she was going about it in one of the worst way possible, mostly functioning as just someone who didn't care about what it cost. She took over the Bakers and let everything continue from there. I don't even know. Hell, I'm surprised she didn't even know about Lucas, since the hive mind exists, I'm pretty sure. But yes, everything would culminate with Ethan. Having brought him there, you basically manipulating, controlling me at the center of the video. Ending with her defeat, as Zoe was able to Zoe's plan to use the D serum, or the D series victims, to actually came to light. The D series victims are what I believe, if I'm correct, to be failed versions of Evelyn, which were used on and with Ethan being a smart boy, used that serum to kill her. Used that serum to kind of weaken her, at least. Ending with her turning into, well, G5, but woman. Anyways, but yeah, so she ends up getting killed by Ethan again, and after this, that's where her story ends, at least in this game. If you know, you know. Now we move into, actually, I guess, yeah, there's just some, like I said earlier, yeah, there's Chris Redfield who appears in the game, then there's other characters. So yeah, let's go into the gameplay. I'll go into gameplay, then I'll go into Madhouse, and then I will discuss the DLCs. So if you want, again, there's probably a thing down below that tells you timeline, you know. Those exist. Anyways, but yes, anyways, continuing the story. So yeah, let's go into gameplay. The gameplay of RE7 is a unique thing. It is mostly based in survival horror, and that's really it. You mostly are given the weapons you are given throughout the game are the shotgun, or your M19 pistol, I believe. Correct me again if I'm wrong. I don't have the weapons list for the game pulled up, and I'm not gonna pull it up. Anyways, I pulled it up because I'd rather not be correct in the comments. Shut up. Yeah, so you get the M19 handgun, the M21 shotgun, the M37 shotgun, the MPH handgun, and those are kind of like and of course the Magnum, which, dear God, the Magnum is a god weapon. You also get 2 knives and the grenade and fire, and the grenade launcher and the fire thrower, which are, so again, or burner as it's called in the game, which are again really good weapons and are able to actually kind of help you. You also get remote bombs, which again are very helpful. Huh. Also apparently, in fact, if you saved Zoe, you also are able to find a crowbar. I did not know that was a weapon. Wait, what? You get an axe? Oh, wait, the axe, right, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. There's just, oh yeah, you get a chainsaw as well, Yeah, no, I played this game, guys. I'm a very good player. Thank you very much for asking. Anyways. Yeah, but yeah, let's go with the enemies. Yeah, no, there's just the molded. There's like the molded, then there's molded with like black spikes, then there's like the molded on all 4s. That's really it. The enemy variety isn't as good as what the future title compares, and I believe other titles, which this game is mostly ridiculed for because of its lack of variety in enemies, mostly being molded with black spikes or whatever it's called, and then molded on all 4s, and I think an evolved version? I don't know. Again, if you know, you know. If you know, please tell me in the comments. But yes. Now, and also fat molded, which are just those things. And again, I think I may be forgetting a few things. And now we move into Madhouse. Madhouse is my own personal hell. I know I never streamed it or discussed it on the main channel, but basically Madhouse is a challenge. It is something that you have to incur, that you have to persevere through. It is the hardest version of Resident Evil 7, and it is hell. It does things to intentionally trick and mislead the player. It is by far one of, if not the biggest mindfuck of a game I've ever played, and I love it because of it. If I was ever recommend anything to play from RE7, it is, I really do love, I think I may play Madhouse again if I ever do, because it's just a fun version of the game. Because it's just, it's a difficult challenge, yes, but it also throws so many more unique curveballs to the player, and giving them kind of like a, oh yeah, you thought this was gonna happen? No, this happens actually. And it's just a very unique twist on the story and gameplay. The story really doesn't change in Madhouse, mostly just being a lot more harder of a challenge, with changes in things scattered throughout the rest of the entire game. And now and also having as I said something earlier, there are also bird cages now. The bird cages are also up here in the living room. And I do not know if this is just something that Jack can do in the base game, which I actually know, I know he can do this because I witnessed on a friend's playthrough him do this. Jack is, yeah, if you do it in Madhouse, if you just, I think, buy one of the coins or just buy the scorpion key, Jack just hicks into the main room and you kind of go, oh my god, run it, run. And yeah, besides that, there are several other changes that I will not discuss because this is just a rant video and I'd rather not discuss like hundreds of changes that I'm not putting on a list. You thought I was gonna do it, didn't you? Anyways, so yeah, after this, Resident Evil 7 really kind of draws to a close. We both know it's not over. The DLCs. Downloadable content. Some fun things. I mean, there's the Grim Troop and Hollow Knight. The entirety of the expansion packs for Minecraft Dungeons. And then you have Jack's 50th birthday party. I love Resident Evil. Anyways, yeah, so back to one of this segment. But yeah, the first one we will discuss is we already discussed one of the DLCs. Now we move into Daughters. Daughters is a DLC that's focused on the story of Zoe before the events of RE7, set 3 years in the past during when Evelyn and Mia first arrived. We learn a lot about, we basically just see her as she tries to fight survive, which is really most of what this is. And then we move into Ethan, well, wait, no. Then we move into, End of Zoe. We move into Not a Hero, a story about Chris Redfield exploring and trying to find Lucas Baker, and mostly having to continue his entire story arc of losing team members because, yes. Anyways, so yeah, checks. Yeah, so we continue that storyline with Chris, seeing how he goes through the entire game and how he explores everything. So, leading into what is kind of the end of Not a Hero, we kind of see as Chris is able to fight and fend off Lucas, killing him, which marks the end of Lucas Baker and the Baker family as a whole. We will get to you, end of Zoe, in a moment. But yeah, this kind of concludes the Chris plotline in RE7, because, well, you know, that's kind of that's the point of the DLC. Now we move into Resident Evil Not a Hero. Resident Evil Not a Hero is the... Wait. I do not have dementia, guys. Okay, so yeah, Resident Evil End of Zoe is the final expansion, I believe, that the game adds besides Ethan Must Die. So, End of Zoe is basically a very tried and tribulated event where you play as a new character named Joe Baker, the average Louisianian man who's punching through alligators like it's nothing and crushing molded heads like they're nothing more than a pimple on the side of his face. Jack, you have a contender. Joe's a fucking god. Yeah, so I can't really give much on these. Yeah, also if you're curious, I can't really give much on these DLCs because the only one I have ended up playing is Resident Evil Not a Hero, because it comes with the game if you didn't know. So yeah, ending with the Resident Evil storyline, ending with this entire segment, Joe ends up finding Zoe. Wait, I had a brain fart, sorry guys. But yeah, he ends up finding Zoe and saving her from the Swamp Man. Jack Baker reincarnated, baby. And yeah, in the end, he's finally killed. We both know he's not dead, right? Yeah. So yeah, Jack ends up returning for, we don't, I don't know why I said Jack ends up returning for, he didn't appear in RE8, did he? Unless he did. Jack Baker for RE8 win. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the end of this storyline. Yeah, and after that concludes RE7 as a whole. After the defeat of Jack. With Jack's defeat, and Joe was arrested and is probably tried for all his crimes of being a badass, obviously. And then he breaks out because he's an anime hero and never comes back. But yeah, that kind of ends the DLC. I don't have much to say on these because again, I've played them. But yeah, that ends the RE discussion. It was nice having you guys join me for this. Thank you for joining for the hour of ranting that I had, and probably something I may add in editing. I don't know, but yeah, it was nice having this discussion with you all. I hope I see you all next time for what my next ranting video will be, which will be about for the Gmod fans in the community, the final stand and its effects on the community as a whole, and how I personally feel about the movie and how it. And, well, really just what it is as a whole. See you all then. Bye, everyone!